Hello kids! Good morning or good afternoon. It's me again, teacher Tina. Today is Science 5. So, before we start, please get your workbook and textbook. So, for workbook, please open your workbook page number 48. Page 48. Friction. And for textbook, please open your textbook page 72 and 73. 72 and 73. So, are you ready, kids? So, today, our topic is about friction. So, page 48, friction. So, when we say friction, so what is friction? So, friction or frictional force occurs when two surfaces, so means two. Example, one, two. So, two surfaces rub against each other. So, means opposite. Opposite. For example, so this is the ground and this is the movement object. This also example, this is the movement object. So this is the ground, like this. So this is the ground. This is the movement of the object. So the movement of the object is going to the right. So the friction between the object and the ground. So this is the friction. So means friction acts in the opposite direction. Means opposite direction. Opposite direction. For example, ball and imagine this is the ground. So when the ball is going to the left, so the friction is going to the right. This is the friction between the ground and the ball. There's a friction. So always remember, friction is opposite direction. For example, the ball is going to the left, so the friction going to the right. This is the friction because there's a friction between the ball in the ground. Okay, next. So this is the example of friction in our daily activities. So friction acts in the opposite direction of the movement. It occurs when two surfaces rub against each other. So rub each other. So if the movement object is going to the left, so the friction is going to the right. So this is the friction between the movement object and the ground. So this is example number 1. So the friction between the shoe sole and the ground allow us to walk without slipping. So there's a friction between the shoe sole and the ground. So this is the friction, and this is the movement. So opposite direction. So pushing force from the shoe sole on the ground. So this is the ground. So this is the shoe sole. So this is the friction and this is the movement object. Number two example is sofa. So imagine this is the sofa. So for example, this is the pushing force. Then the pushing force is going to the left. So there's a friction between the sofa and the floor. So this is the floor. So if the sofa is going to the left, so the friction is here. So between sofa and the floor, there's a friction. So this is the pushing force going to the left and the friction is going to the right. So number three example is direction of the moving car, and this is friction. So the friction between the tire tread, so this is the tire tread, and the road, this is the road, prevents the car from the slipping, especially on the rainy days. So direction, example, this is the car. So direction of the moving car is going to the left. So there's a friction between the road and the trains. So this is the friction. Number four example is direction of the boy sliding down. Sliding down the slide. So where is the friction? So there is friction between the body of the boy and the surface of the slide. How will the flowing water affect on the movement of the boy down the slide? So the direction of the boy is sliding down. So the friction is going up because there's a friction between the body and the slide. So then again, friction is opposite direction. If the direction of the boy is sliding down, so the friction is going up. So there is a friction between the body and the slide. Next. So there's a force acting in the opposite direction of the rolling ball. This force is slow down and eventually stop. For example, and stop. Because eventually the ball, this force is known as friction. Friction or frictional force. So direction of the rolling ball is going to the right. So example, this is the ground. This is the ground. So direction of the rolling ball going to the right. Then the direction of the friction is going to the left. So direction of the rolling ball, then the friction is going to the left. So there's a friction between the ball and the ground. So opposite direction. For example, the ball going to the left, the direction of the rolling ball is going to the left, so the direction of the friction is going to the right. Because there's a friction between the ball in the ground. Next. So this is page 73. So can you draw the direction of the friction involved in each of the activities below? So, for example, direction of the drawer being fall. For example, this one. So the direction of the drawer is going to the left. So the friction is going to the right. So this is the friction of drawer. So you need to write friction. So number 2 example. Number 2. So direction of the moving bicycle is going to the left. For example, this is the bicycle. So direction of the moving bicycle is going to the left. So the friction is going to the right because there's a friction between the two objects. There's a friction from the two objects. This is the ground. So the friction is here going to the right. Next. So I hope you understand our topic for today. So again, friction is opposite direction. Another example, if the object is going to the left, so the friction between the object and the ground is here. So this is friction. For example, the moving object is going to the right, so the friction is going to the left because there's a friction between the two moving objects. So now, please open your workbook, page number 50, 51, and 57, number 3. So, number 1 is draw the direction of the friction involved in each of the activities below. So, direction of the moving bicycle is going to the left. So, where is the friction? So, you need to draw the arrow. So, draw the arrow and write friction. Letter B is direction of the rolling ball is going to the left. So, where is the friction? So, the friction is between the ball in the ground is going to the right. So, this is the answer for letter B. So, this is the friction. Direction of the ball is left. Then the friction between the ball in the ground is going to the right. So, let us answer. The letter C is pushing force is going to the right. So where is the friction? So draw the arrow. Where is the friction? And letter D is direction of the boy sliding down in the slide. So going down. So where is the friction between the boy and the sliding in the slide? So where is the friction? Need to draw. The next, page 57, number 3. So, the diagram below show the ball rolling on the ground. So, direction of the rolling ball is going to the right. So, where is the friction? So, you need to draw the arrow and write friction. The ball eventually slow down and stop. What makes the ball stop? So, you need to write the correct answer. So letter B, draw an arrow. So letter B is you need to draw the arrow. So I hope you understand. See you again next week. Goodbye.